Welcome to Gaming Fin, your channel for everything related to the gaming industry and the stock market. And you can already see today we're going to talk about CD Projekt Red, about the fiscal year 2021, about the earnings. So released on the 14th of April. Today is the 16th of April. And you can find also on the page of CD Projekt, you can find a transcript of the conference call. And you can also find a nice YouTube video which gives a nice overview of about the financial, and which is only 4 minutes 27 long. So my video is obviously going to be a bit longer because I'm going to present you also what we can see here in the fiscal year 2021. So of course it makes also sense to look at the last I think on Friday the markets were also closed in Poland. So CD Projekt, this is the latest chart in Polish zloty. So the sentiment, the atmosphere at CD Projekt seems to be not very positive at the moment, and to be honest, also the stock price is reflecting this at the moment. But I'm always saying I'm a long-term investor, and little disclaimer, I'm invested in CD Projekt and I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a retail investor and a YouTuber, and I'm just sharing here for information purposes my opinion, blah, blah, and put this away. So guys, so I mean, yes, there was a bubble in the stock. And CD Projekt Cyberpunk 2077 came out, and this is now what we have seen since then. And it's a bit accelerating since then between an upper value of 212 and an under value of 150. So we might drop a little bit through to the lower value again, and we broke through the trend line again. So I hope we can come back to be above the trend line. Then I'm a little bit more optimistic. But we're going to see in the fiscal in the earnings, and for also the guidance or the outlook for 2022, and then for 23 we're going to see if this is going to happen already this year, or if we're going to have to wait a little bit longer. So as I said, I'm just a retail investor, so of course I can just inspire myself on those numbers that are here in this presentation by CD Projekt. So if you're really interested, I can absolutely recommend you to listen, watch this video, listen to it, read the transcript if you don't want to listen to it. But for the rest, I think it would be it's sufficient now to listen to me, my friends. And then also I'm giving you a bit quicker financial overview when we come to this point. So CD Projekt Group fiscal earnings year of pivotal internal changes. So what does this mean? So Red 2.0, they call it, is in progress. So CD Projekt Red, that's the company, Red 2.0. That means they're building more agile teams and internal competences. So that's their big project is some sort of to invent yourself again. So continue to with your company, to build your company further, find new ways how your teams are working with each other. So all of this is very important. So building 2 independent teams to work on 2 AAA games at the same time, I think that's a very important aspect. So this means, for example, working on a Cyberpunk game and a Witcher game. This is definitely interesting for the stock price. Otherwise, we are at the point of a one-trick pony, and we were all criticizing the one-trick pony aspects of CD Projekt before. And this was maybe also a reason why then the stock was tanking after Cyberpunk 2077 was not what critics expected or players expected. So strengthening the role of the chief technology officer, followed by changes to the management board. Well, I don't really know what real impact this has. So this is maybe something more for insiders of the company. Refocus on staff well-being, a priority giving to HR activities. Yeah, wonderful, happy staff, good games. Well, it's not that easy. So games are not just good because the staff is happy, but it might help. So Cyberpunk 2077, we have the next gen update available now. There were also some questions for this in the call. Patched 1.5 available. I haven't tried it out, might be because I'm waiting actually for a new PC. So 18+ million copies sold of Cyberpunk 2077. Come on, that's pretty good, but of course they're not selling those copies now at the moment, so they sold them on the start, and of course it's going to start also in the end. Let's put it like this: in the end, they're going to continuously sell some copies, but we might not see the big push anymore in new copies, of course. So development teams engaged in ongoing projects. This is very interesting. So from December 22 up to the 28th of February 22, so 20, sorry, to 22. So in more or less 2 years, more or less 2 years. What do we see? So first, of course, the support for Cyberpunk plus the next gen version. This is the yellow part. Then Gwent related projects. Gwent is this card game, and Spoko is a mobile game, a game for mobile phones, a bit like Pokemon Go. And then we have the CP expansion. So they started working there already in 20. So in 20, end of 20, they worked on the CP expansion. And then you can see this blue line gets the light blue line gets much bigger now. So this is obviously some sort of priority. Other projects, including new game in the Witcher IP, also got bigger. So they already started also 2 years ago for this. And then the Grand related project is mostly the same. And then the Molasses Flood also started in 21, since they acquired this company from Boston. So yeah, new outposts to reach for talent pool and complement our competences. So the Molasses Flood, a CD Projekt studio nowadays, and then of course CD Projekt Red Vancouver is also new. That's very good. And a strategic partnership with Epic Games using the Unreal Engine in our upcoming games. This is also new, and I would say that's good. I mean, in the earnings call, it turns a lot around this. So is this helping to make the games cheaper, faster, more bug free, etc.? Then CD Projekt says, yeah, it might help this, because we're going to have more a bigger talent pool. So there are more people out there that know the Unreal Engine 5 than they would know our own engine. So they expect it's actually to be good. And this deal is going, I think, what was it, 15 years? It's a deal on 15 years, if I'm not mistaken. I have to actually to check it up, verify. But again, so 15 years, and then the developer answered on a question, is this not a bit too long? The developer asked, yeah, no, that's actually how it is in the industry. So I'm not an industry expert in this sense, but probably it's really like this. So it's like 15 years. So you can say the CD Projekt Red engine, the own engine, is dead. Therefore, they also stopped working on the multiplayer aspects of this own engine, and completely turning into the Unreal Engine. And they also said like that the Unreal Engine is going to be very useful actually for open world games, because some critics say, oh, the Unreal Engine is actually not a good engine for open world games. But yes, it is, and it has a great multiplayer aspect. So I would say everything is fine there. Then we have a new saga begins, a new IP in the Witcher, or a new game in the Witcher world. So we will see what this is going to be. Is it really going to be Witcher 4 or not? That's very difficult to say at the moment. So the Witcher, even overall 65 plus million copies sold, including 40 plus million of the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. So I mean, look at those figures. This is what I call a really successful game. So of course, for the stock price or for the financial of this company, at one point no one is buying this game, but they are working on a next gen version on this. So this is also very important. So production plans. This is maybe one of the most important slides, and I also already tweeted it yesterday. So development work on Cyberpunk 2077 expansion is ongoing. Development work on a new Witcher game based on Unreal 5 engine is ongoing. Further support for Cyberpunk 2077. They don't drop it. That's very important to keep this in mind. Development work on the next gen version of The Witcher 3 is also ongoing. So this is now in-house. They took it back in-house. Development work of the Molasses Flood on an unannounced project based on one of our franchises. So this is actually very interesting. Is this going to be The Witcher? Is this going to be something like Cyberpunk? I don't really know, so I'm really interested what the franchise or what this game is going to be. So launch of a single player mode for Gwent, the Witcher card game. Well, I don't really like card games, so that's not really for me interesting. So further support for Gwent, the Witcher card game, and the Witcher Monster Slayer. I think Monster Slayer is a game I have to check out myself, so the idea seems really cool. Conceptual and research work on unannounced projects. So this is good to good to read. Then we know they are working on new projects, they're working on new content, so very important. So, and then I thought something that is actually very good, and definitely also good for Cyberpunk, for the IP. So they're working on a Netflix anime series, so an original Netflix anime series, CD Projekt and Trigger, coming in 2022. So if you like those anime series, Cyberpunk Edge Runners might be for you, might be actually interesting. So I'm definitely going to look into this, because I like Cyberpunk, but I'm not a big anime fan overall. So financial results. So here we see, I could now go here all in details. I think I wanna highlight some aspects. So for 2021, so let's see if we sales and cost provision, assets, equity, liabilities, production, research. So this is maybe a very important one. And then we have the cash flow. So, and that's then over. So I'm staying now with this slide. So CD Projekt Red released their earnings report for the fiscal year of 2021. So, and they made like 888 million zlotys, my friend. So these are 207 million US dollars, and this is in consolidated sales revenue. So but the overall figure represents a decrease of 63%. Here we see it. Yeah. No, that's the liabilities. Wait for it. We go up. Yeah, that's a 63% year-over-year decrease. That's not good, guys. This is really not good, from 2020 to 21. So here you can say the sales revenues in 21 are much lower than they were in 2020. And in comparison, the company's previous financials, in which it released Cyberpunk 2077, were 562 million US dollars, which are 2.14 billion zloty. So that's very important. So it's significantly less. It's significantly less. Here they say it's 58%, but I read in another article the 63% of decrease. So in 2019, the year prior to the game release, the studio generated 521 million Polish zloty, so 121 million US dollars. So let's see. So it was before Cyberpunk. In the year before Cyberpunk, it was 121 million US dollars, and then we have done today. So in 21 we have 207 million. So, and then when Cyberpunk came out, it is 562 million. So there is some sort of a growth, obviously, in the sales revenue, as we can see it like this, but on the other hand, we were dropping massively. But this is the one trick pony problem of CD Projekt Red, and we talked about this already several times. So regarding the company's futuristic sales, so CD 80 million copies, already had this. During the month of its release, the game moved over 10 million units digitally, so 18 million copies overall in 2021, and then 10 when it was released. So in the month of release, so 8 million then over the whole year. So release was in 2020, and then 8 more million than in 21. Additionally, the studio's Witcher series has sold over 65 million. We already had this. So, and then earlier today, CD Projekt Red announced that the development of the next gen update of Witcher 3 was moved in-house and was delayed indefinitely. So yes, very important information I was not giving you before, but Witcher 3 is going to be developed in-house, but we don't know when it's coming out. So this is, I don't know. I mean, do we really need the Witcher 3, the new version of this? Probably it's not so necessary, or so necessary at the moment. So CD Projekt Red product research, development and service costs. You see this was the release in the fourth quarter of 2020 when Cyberpunk came out. Service costs released products. So this was of course spiking, and then it was dropping then again for 21. And then we have cash flow. Well, cash flow doesn't look actually so good, but it's 1,000 zloty. So cash deposits, I mean, it's higher now. Let's put it like this. It's higher than it was than in the beginning of 21. So, but it's not much higher. And then we also had a nice dividend payout. I remember this. I also got the dividend, so I was I don't really, it's a growth company for me. I don't really need the dividend payout, but maybe other people need it. So I think this is the most important information we got. We can also have a quick look here what our friend from CD Projekt is saying here. So 8 updates published over the past year significantly enhanced performance, he says. In Cyberpunk, another milestone was the release in February 2022 of game's next-gen console version, along with a large update for last-gen consoles and PCs. Then we are satisfied with the reception with which our work has been met by games. I can also share with you that we have sold 80 million copies of the game in less than a year and a half. For everyone who has already walked the streets, we're working on a DLC as well as on a major expansion. So the DLC, very important. I'm also looking forward to this. Then we triggered by the release of Cyberpunk, which taught us a great deal. We responded by updating our group strategy. That's not important. So ongoing Red 2.0 transformation process aims to change the way we develop games and communicate with the outside world. We also emphasize workplace comfort, well-being, and growth of our team. And in 2021, we put in place a solid foundation for improving gameplay, development, project management processes. And the studio is setting up additional cross-disciplinary teams which apply the agile methodology, whatever this means. We are also strengthening the role of the CTO, the person responsible for technical aspects of the studio's transformation. A visible sign of this is the appointment of Mr. Pavel Swolb, which took place earlier this year. While we've only completed the first stage of the transformation process, we can already see it yielding measurable benefits. The past year was also a period of expansion, as announced during our strategy update. The Canadian digital scape studio, now operating under the name CD Projekt Vancouver, is participating in our current development, and then the Molasses Flood, based in Boston studio, is also working on its own game based on one of our franchises. As I mentioned already, both studios are staffed by skilled and experienced professionals. In the coming years, we intend to grow them both, expanding their respective teams. Among our strategic objectives for the coming years is further enhancement of the recognition and reach of our brands. We want to go beyond our comfort zone and explore new areas other than those we already know well. And an example of this approach is the July launch of our first ever mobile game, The Witcher Monster Slayer by Studio Spoko, which is part of our group. In turn, the second half of 2022 will be marked by the release of Cyberpunk Edgerunners, an anime series available on Netflix. Moving on to financial results, so 21 revenues topped 888 million. Our most important product during this time was, of course, Cyberpunk 2077. The group's consolidated net profit for the period was 209 million Polish zloty. Despite having paid out our highest ever dividend at over 500 million zloty and continuing development work on games, so they cost, of course, also something both existing, upcoming by the end of the past year. Our balance, that is the cash bank deposit T-bonds, increased by nearly 280 million Polish zloty. In recent years, we have built a solid financial backbone, which secures our independence and supports further growth of our group. Finally, I would like to mention our strategic partnership with Epic, which will enable us to base our future projects on Unreal Engine. In March, we also announced that this new engine would power our next installment in the Witcher series. We are excited to finally be able to announce the beginning of a new saga in the universe we love so dearly, and which has brought us immense creative satisfaction over the past 15 years. Purchased 65 million copies of the game, of the trilogy, actually not including 40 million copies of The Witcher 3. And we hope the Witcher games will find their way into the hands of millions more, especially now that we are gearing up to the release of White Hunt for next-gen consoles. That's all from me. I invite you to follow our investor relations activities on social media, etc., etc. So yeah, let's go back to the chart. So I mean, it looks okay, guys. It looks okay. So I hope this comprehensive analysis of all the information we got from the earnings call is helping you a little bit. So it looks okay, but so 22. So what do we learn actually from this? So 2022, so this year is not going to push a lot, so we have to wait at least until 23 until we see some more momentum for the stock. So it's very much possible, and this is now what I personally think. I don't know if it's happening like this. But I say it's very much possible that we drop down to the 130 Polish zloty, and I don't know how the stock will actually, after this earnings call and earnings release then on Tuesday, I think it's when the market opened again, how CD Projekt stock is going to react. So it's really not clear for me. But I would not be surprised if we definitely see here this support line maybe at 130 zloty. So this is then the moment where I personally consider buying some more, because I still believe in the long-term perspective of CD Projekt. They came a long way. And they still have interesting games. An interesting lineup. They have strong IP brands, and they are also still selling a lot of games. And also I like that they're working together with Netflix on series, etc. So in terms of entertainment, I'm sure in terms of entertainment that there's much more coming with CD Projekt. So for me, actually, if we drop, then it's definitely interesting to buy some more. But yeah, brace yourself. It's very important, guys. So don't expect that we jump back to the almost 500 zlotys that we had in end of 2020. I would say the pandemic growth stocks bubble. So we might not see this so quickly. So we were accelerating a little bit, probably between 130 and 240. So I definitely think this is going more a bit in this direction. But maybe this is also a good possibility to trade a little bit. Whew. All right, guys. So 21 minutes so for this video. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I gave you a lot of information. So if I did give you the information and you're happy that you watched this video, so please write me a commentary and give me a like for this video. And what is even more important for me, since I'm a small new channel, that you subscribe to my channel, and then you get a lot of more interesting information. So, and one of my next videos is going to be a video about Ultimate Games, also a Polish gaming company, which has also a very interesting valuation at the moment. So most information are in Polish. So I hope to find some. Yeah, I hope I'm going to use some translation, of course, for this, and I can give you some good information in English as well. So thank you very much, guys, for watching. See you the next time. Check out my other videos. Bye bye.